Is it Michael or Michelle? We want to know. Is Michelle Obama really Michael?
Well, it's got to be Michael. I mean, come on. It comes dangerously close to the black helicopter theories, but I tend to believe, yes, it's Michael.
So you think that Michelle Obama is really Obama's best male friend from back in college days?
Absolutely.
All right. So
absolutely. I believe that. Is there scientific proof right now? No, but I still believe it.
I mean, there is that one video.
Do you know
which video I'm talking about?
Well, you tell me which video.
All right. There's a video of Michelle Obama, and she's dancing. And let's just say it could be the way the material is flowing in those pants, but it looks like, how do I say this politely? Hebrew National might have misplaced one of their kosher hot dogs.
You know, there's a blue dress, and I don't know what it is with blue dresses, but there's a blue dress.
This is not Bill Clinton's blue dress.
No.
It's not Monica.
It's a lighter blue. It's a lighter blue. Might be his second acceptance speech. And she walks out with a blue dress, and there is absolutely something below the waist on that blue dress, and it is absolutely not a wrinkle. It isn't a mic that got placed wrong. It isn't a wire that got placed wrong.
Could it be a belly button?
It is definitely not a belly button. It is lower than the belly button.
Okay.
And, you know, it's funny. I have heard multiple women from multiple walks of life talk about those are not women's arms. Now, I can't tell you. I'm a guy. I have no idea what a woman's arm looks like compared to a guy's arm.
You have no clue what a woman's arm looks compared to... Come on, Jeremy, okay. You must have some kind of clue.
Okay, according to the women that I've talked to, they've said that, you know, women's arms tend to have a little bit more fat on them. I mean, technically, women have more body fat than men. That's how it works. But I've never really paid that much attention to see that every woman doesn't have a fit, manly, quote unquote, arm. But every woman I've ever talked to is like, those are not women's arms. And I mean, I suppose she could have had work done. I don't know. But facial recognition, just looking at them, I mean, it just fits. That's Michael. And I'm okay with that. I'll be first on the record to say, hey, you know what? It takes all kinds of people in this world to love all kinds of other people.
Yeah, it's totally fine. I don't care.
I don't care that's Michael. I don't care if it's Barack and Michael. I don't care if that's the first husband. I really don't. But don't hide it. Don't insult people. That's the thing that upsets me.
Yeah, but then again, what if Michelle is really Michelle and these have just been rumors the whole time?
Then I stand corrected.
You know, there's not a lot of ways you can really prove this that you can do in decent society.
You could do the Crocodile Dundee.
What is the Crocodile Dundee?
You've never seen Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, God, years ago.
Well, as it goes, Mick, the main character, ends up talking to a transvestite in a bar, and he thinks it's a girl. And the reporter friend that's helping him in New York says, that's a guy. And he reaches there and checks and finds out that's a guy. And a little bit later on in the movie, he does it again to a very mannish looking woman, finds out it's a woman. And so, you know, the joke is, you know, there are ways to check. But
well, there are definite ways to check. There's a few things that really can give it away. Okay, there's definitely things that give it away. A few things. We're not going to even go into the definition of what a woman is. But going back,
what a woman is, I'll go there. What a woman is whatever's on your danged birth certificate when you were born. That's how we work that. Well, it's man or woman.
I will agree with you here. Gender is not assigned. It's observed. Like you look down and you go, oh, that's part A or that's part B. Now, to the 0.0018% of the population, and that's an exact number, 0.0018% of the population that is truly intersex, we're not talking about you. That's really not what we're talking about now.
If you're old enough like me, you remember assembling toys. You either have a tab or a slot. That's it. Tab A into slot B, right?
Which is pretty much how it goes. Now, have you seen the picture of Michael and a early picture of Michelle? To me, they could be identical twins. They look really similar. They look really, really similar.
I'll be honest, I haven't done my own independent studies, but from what I'm told, even photo recognition software tags them as the same person.
Now, have
Tags
you
their
seen
nose
this, or
and
this is
measurement.
something you just kind of heard through the rumor mill?
I through the rumor mill, you know how it goes. But if you just look at the pictures, you can't tell me they don't look eerily similar.
Oh, they look very, very similar.
So for photo recognition software to tag on it, okay, maybe cheap software, but still, any software. You know, I let's take a facial ID, hold the phone up, you know, hey, I got an idea. How about we just find out where Michael is?
Where is Michael?
Nobody knows.
Are you sure?
Yes, absolutely.
How do you know?
I remember one of the media outlets was like trying to find him, couldn't find him, just dropped off the face of the earth. This was years ago. I mean, obviously, we're recording this, 2.5 presidencies, since. But yeah, it's one of those deals where it's like they never produced him.
Here's the thing. I'm really into politics. I really enjoy it.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't talk about it at work. That's a no-no with what
that's
I
a
do.
no-no.
But in my personal life, I like looking at it, and I will say this. I have never heard anybody come forward and say, hey, I'm Michael, here I am. And I've never heard anybody say, we found Michael, he has passed away, he's over here, here's a picture with the family. That never came up. Now, the other thing going on with the Obamas, there have been rumors forever and a day that things haven't been going so well with them. And apparently they just came out and they, quote unquote, put all these rumors to rest that they are not getting divorced. What are your thoughts about that? Because I know I have thoughts.
Good for them. I'm glad their marriage worked out. I always saw Michelle and Barack, Michael and Barack, however you want to look at it, as a powerhouse couple, just like the Clintons. Mm-hmm. Marriage of convenience, marriage of power, however you want to look at that. I wouldn't be surprised if they go separate ways. I wouldn't be surprised if they stay together, but still go separate ways. I mean, there's talk that the Clintons hardly stay together in the same house.
Okay. Let's be honest. If you were Bill Clinton, would you want to stay in the same house as Hillary?
It's funny about that. It's kind of those 6 degrees of separation. I'm not going to go into why I know this, but somebody who had met and spoken to many times with Bill Clinton said he was the most charismatic guy they'd ever met. And anytime he came into the room, they hid the women they hid the wallets and the women because no one could say no to Bill. And so when I look at Bill and Hillary, I'm like, yeah, no, he's off doing his thing. He's the ladies' man. I'm sure he's out doing everything he can. Probably not quite now, but years ago. And Hillary's out there for power. He's out there for the fun and she's out there for the power, but they're both good at their job.
I gotta say, when it comes to Barack and Michelle, I can't see any president getting divorced. Now, I could see a president getting divorced before becoming president.
Yeah.
Like you had Ronald Reagan, and I can't remember his first wife's name.
That was years. Yeah, it didn't last long.
It didn't. Yeah. I don't remember how long it lasted, but
sure.
he had met Nancy before he had divorced the first wife. But
yes.
Once he had Nancy, that was it. That was true love.
Yep.
I can't think of anybody else who's been divorced after becoming the president.
No.
No. So I just don't see it happening. I mean, it's kind of like a stigma that you can't get divorced. So yeah, maybe you're just staying in together for the power, and you basically have your roles and you say, you live your life, I'll live my life. Let's just keep it really quiet. And, maybe we're going off and we're having a girlfriend on the side, but we make sure that is buried in the news. Maybe not. Maybe they do love each other. I don't know. It's possible.
I think you've got 2 different marriages or 2 different relationships when you get that high up in government. You have the people who really love each other, the Carters, the Bushes, the Reagans, that are really, no, you were there forever. The Fords, warts and all, as my old boss used to say.
Yeah.
And then I think you have the powerhouse couples. And I think you don't get a lot in the middle. You get those powerhouse couples. It's not a marriage of convenience. I don't think that's the quite term you'd use because they're both obviously capable. but a marriage of power, a marriage of I can do this for you, you can do this for me. Maybe at some point there was a spark, maybe there was a love of power, and that joined us together.
All right. So, what I'm thinking is maybe, there is a spark, but that is not the most important aspect of the relationship. Because
I think at that point, at that high power, yes, absolutely. I mean, when you're the most powerful person, quote unquote, in the world or in the nation, however you want to look at that. Yeah, I think at that point, I hate to be the unromantic person here, the engineer here, but I think love takes a back seat to when you're running the country.
Even though I do want to point out your hypocrisy, Reagan and Nancy, absolute true love.
True, yes, absolutely.
Jimmy and Rosalind Carter, that was true love.
Yes.
That was true love till the very end.
Yeah.
Both
Bushes actually,
and their wives, I really do think that was true love. John F. Kennedy and Jacqueline.
I really think there was love there. I do. I really do.
I wonder. She put up with a lot.
I think he was kind of,
and I know we're way off track, but
I think he was a bit freelance. Let's put it that way. But I think she did love him. I think she did love him.
I think she did love him too.
And I think he did in his own right.
But Bill, I have never seen, not once in all my years watching Bill and Hillary Clinton in public life, I have never really seen those two have that moment where I said, this is deep, lifelong love. And I kind of never really got that a lot from Barack and Michelle. I never really got that.
A little more, but not.
A little more than the Clintons by far, but not. And I'm surprised that they didn't get divorced. I truly am.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to give up that lots of money and the guards and the travel for free and the house in Hollywood and the royalties. Oh, sorry. No. Yeah, it's hard to give up that marriage. It's hard to give up that life.
All right, let me throw one quick thing at you, and then we're going to rate our idea of whether or not something's true or not.
Sure.
What do you think about Trump and Melania? Do you think that's true love? Do you think that is now convenient? Where do you think that is?
Trump said it best. He actually admitted it. During the first presidency, I think it was, or maybe it was just before, I don't remember, but it was definitely in that time frame. He said, I was a crappy husband, but I was a good father. I did everything for the kids, but I was a crappy husband. And I don't love the guy, don't get me wrong. He's a good businessman. And if you need somebody to run the country, you need a businessman. But the fact that he's willing to admit that he was a terrible husband says something. Do I think they're married for love? Do I think they're married for money? Do I think they're married for power? All three.
See, I've seen some affection between them.
I think there's general affection there. I think there is. I think there absolutely is.
He really was into her when they met. Where they are at now, I'm not sure. I think they're definitely above the Clintons by far. I mean,
yeah, for sure. I think there's definitely a marriage for marriage's sake there.
For the Trumps.
I think there's definitely affection there. I think there's definitely care there. I think there's all that. It's not for power. It wasn't like she looked at him and said, I can get power there. It wasn't like he looked at her and said, I have tons to gain. I don't think so. I think they're, and I'm going to get a rash for this, but I think they're a lot of the typical American couple. I think they've been married a lot of years. They're very comfortable with each other.
I can see that. And I think deep down inside, they do love each other. I think deep down inside, they do love each other. However, I don't think it's at that level of, say, Nancy and Ron. No. I mean, that was such those two, it was, so obvious. Even the people that didn't like Reagan, they were like, that is a loving couple.
Reagan and Nancy were just head over heels for each other. And Nancy didn't really, believe it or not, want Reagan to really do this. I mean, she'd follow him to the ends of the earth. But she'd rather he just be his cowboy on his ranch.
All right, last question. Whole point of this.
We had a point?
we never do. All right, scale of 1 to 10. What are the odds of Michelle being Michael? 1 being not a chance, 10, definitely Michael. Where would you rank it?
It's a solid 6.8 to 7.2.
That's interesting. You know why? I was going to say 7. So yeah, I think
it's right there. I could be wrong. I want to be wrong. I really do. You know, most of the time when I get these quote unquote conspiracy theories, I call them black helicopter theories. I want to be wrong. I really do. I want to believe in society. I want to believe in America. I want to believe in all this. But, most of the time, I just can't. I just, and sad to say, sometimes it comes true and you're just like, oh, I need to go have a drink. I didn't want to be right there. And so, yeah, I think it's a solid 7, give or take a couple points.
That Michelle is really Michael.
Yeah.
I got it.
Really, in the sense of has been. I'm okay. Hey, you want to make that change and be that for the rest of your life? You want to have that operation? You go right ahead. I'm okay with that. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, it's your life. Live your life any way you want, as long as you're not pushing it on others.
You do what you need to do, but don't deceive a bunch of people about it either.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's all. That's all my big rant is about that today.
So what's really important, Jeremy? If you like what we're doing, what should you do right now?
Well, you should like and subscribe, of course.
I would like and subscribe.
And ring that bell. I mean, if we did a good job, if you're really happy at the end of us, you ring that bell.
You mean that bell, that like button, and the subscribe bell at the very bottom over there?
Yeah.
How long does it take to do that?
You should have done it by now.
You should have done it by now, but if you haven't done it by now, why aren't you doing it?
That's been my argument since I became an adult.
Thank you for listening. Train out. Hope to see you on the next one.